Hi, this is Bob Gersh with East Coast Capital. And today's topic, foreclosure activity is still lower than the norm. Foreclosure activity is still lower than the norm. Have you seen headlines talking about the increase in foreclosures in today's housing market? If so, they may leave you feeling a bit uneasy about what's ahead. But remember, these clickbait titles don't always give you the full story. The truth is, if you compare the current numbers with what usually happens in the market, you'll see there's no need to worry. Putting the headlines into perspective, the increase the media is calling attention to is misleading. That's because they're only comparing the most recent numbers to a time where foreclosures were at historic lows, and that's making it sound bigger than it really is. In 2020 and 2021, the moratorium and forbearance program helped millions of homeowners stay in their homes, allowing them to get back on their feet during a very challenging period. When the moratorium came to an end, there was an expected rise in foreclosures. But just because foreclosures are up doesn't mean the housing market is in trouble. Historical data shows that there isn't a wave of foreclosures. Instead of comparing today's numbers with the last few abnormal years, it's better to compare to long-term trends, specifically to the housing crash, since that's what people worry may happen again. Take a look at the graph posted on my blog at askbobgersh.com. It uses foreclosure data from ATTOM, a property data provider, to show foreclosure activity has been consistently lower, shown in orange, since the crash in 2008, shown in red. So while foreclosure filings are up in the latest report, it's clear there's nothing like it was back then. In fact, we're not even back to the levels we'd see in normal years, like 2019, as Rick Schrager, founder and CEO of C.J. Patrick Company, explains. Foreclosure activity is still only at about 60% of pre-pandemic levels. That's largely because buyers today are more qualified and less likely to default on their loans. Delinquency rates are still low, and most homeowners have enough equity to keep them from going into foreclosure. As Molly Bossell, principal economist at CoreLogic, says, U.S. mortgage delinquency rates remained healthy in October, with the overall delinquency rate unchanged from a year earlier, and the serious delinquency rate remaining at a historic low. Borrowers in later stages of delinquencies are finding alternatives to defaulting on their home loans. The reality is, while increasing, the data shows that foreclosure crisis is not where the market is today or where it's headed. The bottom line, even though the housing market is experiencing an expected rise in foreclosures, it's nowhere near the crisis level seen when the housing bubble burst. If you have questions about what you're hearing or reading about the housing market, let's connect. This is Bob Gersh with East Coast Capital. This blog, video, and podcast Monday through Friday at askbobgersh.com. If you like what you heard, please subscribe. If I can be of any assistance, please reach out through askbobgersh.com. If you do see me at a local coffee shop, tap me on the shoulder. Let's sit down, have coffee, and talk about whatever you'd like to talk about. Have a great rest of the day, great rest of the week. Enjoy life. If I can be any services, reach out through askbobgersh.com. Until next time, thank you.